Hi guys.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Well, thanks for joining us, Matt. It's
Yeah, no, thank you too. Absolutely.
I see you're sort of. I think last year we maybe both played as well and came about the same place.
I think so. Yeah. It was fun to play last night and this morning. I sort of haven't quite played as much as David and Keith at the top. Not honestly, not sure how they've managed to do it,
Well,
but
it actually shows you
very
the number
very
of games.
impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, it shows you the number of games here. So I'm just looking. I keep looking to the side because I've got the screen I'm showing to the side. But David's played 222 games, and Keith's played 220 games. So as a comparison, I feel like I've played quite a lot, and I've played 69. Do you know what I mean?
69 games. How many have I played?
You've played 87.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
So for them to play 222, that is a staggering amount, isn't it?
It's ridiculous, isn't it? And yes, I mean, still, how many? What do we have? About 4 hours to go in the stream. It's still. I'd imagine David's probably out of reach, but it's there's still every chance that something could happen.
Well, he's still playing quite well, actually, David. I literally just played him. Actually, I beat him earlier in the stream, like near the start somewhere. But I literally just played him now, just before we came online. I just thought I'll have a quick game, and I lost to him. So I thought, oh, he must be knackered by now. Surely I'll beat him.
It's how he's managed to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still maintaining a rating of 26-37, despite the fact that he's been playing 40. So, because I mean, I don't know if you experience. I mean, my rating's just similar, 26, high 2600s. But I find it quite hard to maintain a rating playing this event because if you beat a player rated 2200 or lower, you actually get given 0 points. I've realised.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think when I started, I lost quite a few games very early on. I was playing on a train actually on my phone and lost a couple because of connection problems. But that, like, my rating almost dropped like 100 points in the first couple of hours. But I've managed to get it back over the next few games. But it's
very tough, isn't it?
Unique kind of tournament.
Yeah, they literally give you 0. So which game would you like to start with? We've got a junior.
Just having a look.
Or we've got Keith.
Should we see Keith's game?
Keith played. I mean, he'd probably get quite a lot of coverage, won't he, Keith? Anyway, but he's a pawn up here, so his rating has actually slipped quite a bit. I think he seems to be in the mode of just playing moves really at the moment because he's a lot stronger than his current rating of 2430. He's obviously just going for the mode. He's just playing moves, isn't he, to get the games in? Whereas David seems to be.
Here he's just what. I don't know if the ending's probably drawn, but he's flagged his opponent with him still having half of his time left, which has kind of been his MO for most of the tournament, and it served him really well.
Exactly. It's quite difficult if you put your king in here. Then you always have to watch out for the forks and things. So it practically is very difficult to hold anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Even if his opponent had time, I'd imagine Keith finds a way to convert this.
Maneuver around. Yeah. Keith, should we try a couple of other players? Because I imagine that people like Keith and David have had quite a lot of coverage. Shall we try a couple of other players?
Absolutely.
The Grandmaster down here, Mikhail Golubev. Now I don't know much about him. I did actually play him in the middle of the night. Actually, I was watching the Champions League. After Champions League, I thought I'd have a quick game, and I did actually play him. And I was completely lost, but somehow managed to swindle him when I had no time left. But he's obviously. I don't know much about him. Do you know much about him as a player?
I might have played him in sort of the occasional Title Tuesday game or something, but I don't know too much. But yeah, it looks like he's played this trendy line against the French, the advance with this bishop d3 and sacrificing a pawn.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? They just literally just let you just take a pawn. Actually, when I played him earlier, he played something. I played some Sicilian line, and he really knew the theory well, really well. I was only sort of just hustling him in time trouble that I managed to turn it around. But I think he's actually might be known as being a bit of a theoretician. Actually, I think maybe he prepares some players, and I'm pretty sure he's written quite a lot of stuff. So I'm not surprised he knows all his openings really well. So knight f5. What's the idea, Matthew? You kind of give up the pawn. It's not totally obvious to me what the plan is.
You're kind of just playing for sort of this long-term compensation because it becomes quite tricky for your for black to develop his king side. I mean, here knight f5.
It's a little bit funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Why play g4 here?
G4 here.
G4. There's sometimes situations where black can play knight e3, and though I think after G4, knight e3 might be quite strong.
Oh wow, yeah. So like just sacrificing them. Actually, what would actually happen? Can I move the pieces? What would actually? How do I do a variation? Or does it not allow it?
I'm not sure.
What you were saying,
yeah, knight e3.
Knight e3. That's quite clever, isn't it? Because then they take you take back
e3, d6, e3, exactly.
Yeah, and then you've got these sort of discovered checks, haven't you? So maybe G4 is G4 a mistake, perhaps.
I think G4 goes wrong when I've looked at these. You got to be very careful about this knight e3 idea. But luckily his opponent missed it and instead retreated to h6.
So what would you play some sort of developing move here? Maybe move this knight or play a3 and b4.
Yeah, something like knight b3 seems natural. Again, you're kind of waiting for black to take on c3. That you recapture with the pawn, and then sort of rook b1, queen e2, development all comes sort of relatively naturally.
Okay, so it's a good idea, but they seem to have gone wrong a bit to them. But okay, let's just move through to where we are at the moment. Okay, knight f5. Well,
knight f5 is interesting.
Knight f5. So his idea is if we take, he wanted to push attacking the queen.
Another discovery idea, exactly.
It's quite interesting. I might start playing this. It looks quite exciting, isn't it? Yes.
So
G6.
Black declines the sacrifice and just plays G6, and now White will have to move the knight. And lots of interesting options.
But White's actually running really low on time here. This is what actually this is similar to this against me. He had a really promising bishop, but he ran short on time and completely lost control. And it's a similar thing here. Well, he hasn't lost control, obviously, but he's running really short on time. I mean, I guess he wants to. Well, I was thinking he was going to try and get some idea with knight d6 check to work somehow.
I was looking at that as well, but I guess taking e7 is the safer option. And now knight g5, so he's probably looking for some sort of queen f3. I mean, practically, it's just so unpleasant for black to play. But White almost has too many good choices. You know, you get into that sort of situation, and it's easy to go wrong because everything looks so good for you. But here, I'd imagine White is either winning or much better.
It's interesting because White's it's interesting to say that because White's actually a pawn down, isn't he? So you sort of feel, but it's very difficult for black. I mean, like you say, you can't really. He'd like to defend this pawn, but then if he defends it with a rook, he's got to start worrying about knight h7s, hasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a bit tricky to kind of untangle. But he has got this kind of rook h1 or h1 mate idea.
I was going to say, yeah. So bishop c6 looking for d4 and rook h1 mate, but I think queen f3.
Can black play an intermediate move like knight here? I was looking at knight f5 with the idea of trying to somehow go d4 and take back.
Can you block with bishop e4 in that situation, or
or maybe if knight f5 take, I was thinking, well, knight f5 takes, maybe you could even just recapture and try and
maybe
play d4 next go with your pawn covering this. But a knight g8 feels a bit. It doesn't. It wouldn't be my first instinct, but maybe it's the safest way to play.
I guess, yeah. So here, I guess it's does black play with d4 or not? I don't think
it's white. It's White's goes. Can White start?
White's just played rook e2, I think.
Oh, he just played rook e2. Okay. So
presumably just to stop any sort of knight d2 forking ideas. Knight h6, queen f6 is good.
24 seconds. It's going to be very tough for him to win this.
It's exactly, yeah. It's just such a complicated position that you feel it's inevitable you're going to go wrong at some point. Again, he's keeping the position complicated, which maybe when you're this short on time isn't the best option.
Well, you can try and get his queen into a7 somehow and try, because he has to. I wouldn't go for a queen trade here because he hasn't got time for it, has he? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to try and play for a quick mate, otherwise you're just going to get flagged.
Yeah, exactly. He's not. We need to give him some lessons in blitz hustling, for the British pundits. We need to give him some lessons because he's played all the accurate moves, but they're not going to get the desired result.
I mean, this position. I mean, it's still a very interesting position. I mean, I think White's just winning a piece with rook bh1 next, but black has a lot of queenside pawns, and it's there's maybe you can argue at least some compensation for the piece. I mean, it's gonna come down to a time scramble, which I feel Golubov was unfortunately probably going to lose, but nonetheless a really interesting game.
Yeah, he's come up with some good ideas, hasn't he? He's just going to get flagged though. Unfortunately, he's just not. He had to find a way to keep the queens on. Really,
I think that Queen D4, Queen A7 idea might have been his last chance. He's still trying.
Yeah, he's going to somehow create a mating attack, but it just doesn't look possible.
Sometimes happens with Rook versus Knight, but I don't quite see it happening here. Yeah.
So he's lost, but it's great that he's played. It's great we've got another Grandmaster playing. So I wanted to take the time to have a quick look at him because, like I say, I imagine we've been looking. I imagine most of the previous commentators spent all their time with David and Keith, who are obviously, understandably so, because they're leading the tournament.
So who are the other title players playing at the moment?
So we've got a Candidate Master, Junior Tay.
Should we have a look at that one?
Look, yeah. So Junior Tay looks to be quite a strong player. I think I played him actually. I think I played him. That's a bit of a weird repetition. Yeah. Maybe they just decided that they're short on time and it was perhaps fairer to have a draw.
Yeah.
I think I played him earlier, but he looks like to be quite a strong player. I don't really know much about him. Who is it? Junior Tay's his name. So I don't know much about him. But anyway, it's great he's played. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Charlie Story playing.
Who is, I think still in third place overall.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, I can get Stanius here. He's in third place at the moment. That's right.
Yeah.
So his games are always quite exciting, aren't they?
Yes.
Like Charlie, he's got the potential to beat a very good player, but he's also got the potential to lose to quite a weak one. He's kind of it's quite entertaining chess. You know, he's on the sort of verge all the time. You know, he pushes the limits a little bit, but it can be very effective against stronger players. He can unsettle them.
That sort of thing gets exacerbated when you've been playing for however many hours at a time. And he's just hung this tactic with Rook takes E4, Rook A1 check, and this looks very bad for him actually. I think he's just losing the knight on H3 as well.
Yeah, just King D8 keeps an eye on the rook, doesn't it? And now he's got a big problem.
Maybe Bishop D6 here.
These are all hanging. After Bishop D6, you can just take the knight anyway, can't you? But Black could have just taken the knight last go because Bishop D6 would have been met with King takes. So, but I mean, he's trying to confuse White to see if White will allow the knight into here.
He's doing really well, a really good job of muddying the waters here. Actually, I mean, G6 is a nice move. I don't like F6. I don't like F6 there, leaving the G6 pawn alive. I mean, now maybe Rook takes G7.
It's actually, I mean, this game's far from over, isn't it? I don't even know who's favourite here.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's going to be a full Rook up after Rook takes H3, but the G6 pawn and the King on the back rank, there is enough to at least be a little bit uncomfortable as Black.
Yeah, I mean,
Knight E3 is a very nice move.
So his idea is to take this pawn with check, isn't it? Rook takes pawn check, and then when the king moves, he wants to put his knight here check. So this is a problem that Charlie's got to deal with. That's quite a big threat.
That's very nasty, actually. Yeah.
I mean, it strikes me this player seems quite underrated for 1400.
1400. That's appalling. Yeah, I don't see any way out of this for Charlie, actually.
Well, he's got a big rating advantage, so there's a possibility his opponent goes wrong.
He's still got almost 2 minutes left, though. Is the thing.
He can actually just play this if he wants to. He can play.
He's allowed the tactic, yeah. He's actually going to be 2 rooks for a knight up after once the dust settles. I think the kingside pawns are maybe a little bit, but still a little bit still.
But after knight, that was a bad move. That was a misclick move. Yeah. I mean, because knight here looks like it just almost was it. Because I think after king here, you could even start calculating moves like rook e2 check, and there's other things to look at as well. Although probably taking the rooks, obviously, simpler. But knight g4, I just don't understand that move at all. Suddenly, White's just winning.
That's got to be a misclick of some kind. I mean,
well, maybe his idea is to threaten rook here. That's checkmate, isn't it? So it's
I guess. How's White stopping that? What's happened to the broadcast? It looks like
sorry, there's been some moves. Rook check.
Moves have been still being made. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So LB's blundered. Oh yeah, rook check's a clever move because if the king goes here, then pawn up check. Okay.
Yeah.
So Charlie's counted it by going on the attack. Yeah. And now that's the thing with Charlie. He's quite a tricky player, isn't he? He kind of conjures things up. Mind you, I'm not sure. Going for this end game looks a bit double-edged, doesn't it? Because
I was going to say there's still a lot of play left here.
I mean, with Black, tempted to swap these rooks. What do you think? And just run with the king.
He should have taken on c5 and played a5. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and at some point the king will come this way and start trying to win some of these pawns. He would start with a5, but the king would start coming over. Now it looks like
this feels very good. So he's gonna offer the exchange, but under much worse circumstances here.
Can Charlie play a move like rook to g5, perhaps? So
rook g5 would be very strong. Yeah, very nicely played.
Okay, Black's kind of ignored it. It's a bit of a roller coaster game, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, there's still a lot to go in there, but they're both now well under a minute left.
It's an absolute blitz finish. I mean, after
knight g8 here,
knight g8, and then
no idea what's going on.
The pawns, yeah. Maybe the king has to come this way to take the pawns. Perhaps the king has to come via here. And also, you've got the h pawn and the a pawn. So there's.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's if any, Black might even still have winning chances. It's one of those crazy end games.
I'd start pushing these pawns. Yeah, I mean, he's spent a couple of moves going back and forward, but he's on the right track now. He's starting to push the pawns at least now.
Definitely.
If I were Black, I'd just keep pushing. Get these pawns as far up as you can.
Exactly.
I would just.
F5, I don't mind either.
Oh yeah, because maybe you'd worry about a knight fork. Okay.
Unfortunately, he's about to lose on time. I think it might be a connection problem actually that he's just played too slowly the last few moves. But
he didn't deserve to lose that actually, did he? It was
amazing back and forth game. The tricky nature of the sort of not having any increment that a lot of so interesting games like this get sort of cut off too soon because someone gets flagged.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're sort of typical of Charlie's games, but his opponent, for someone rated 1400, looked a lot stronger than that, to be honest.
Very impressive by him, yeah.
So then we've got, we could click on this because we've got two title players, haven't we? We've got Keith against Jan I think it's a junior player.
How many times in his life do you think Keith's had this exact ending? I'm going to say it's got to be double digits at least.
Does Keith does he play the same openings even in the blitz, or does he mess around?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it looked. What's the opening here?
Oh, this is all his normal
stuff. Yeah, this just is Keith's bread and butter.
He doesn't. I mean, I don't know about you. When I play these tournaments, I just play whatever I feel like on that particular game. I'll probably play 20 games. I'll play 20 different openings. But Keith, he likes to just play exactly the same way, doesn't he? And even in blitz games, he just.
I mean, that's kind of his thing, isn't he? That he's got certain niches and structures that he knows unbelievably well, and can just play them over and over again, and outplay people. And yeah, this sort of 3v2 ending, objectively, I think is probably a draw, but practically, even at like classical time controls, is so unpleasant. Knight e8 here immediately targeting the f7 pawn.
After knight d8, could Black have maybe played rook e5?
If we I was going to say rook e5 looked interesting there. Maybe
it's
king
more
g4.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the idea is if the knight would set the pawn, you've got rook. Have you got rook f5 check?
I was going to say king g4 instead of taking f7.
Yeah. Yeah. So rook e5, you take king here. And then well, he can keep going, can't he, Keith? He won't have lost his initiative at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So
we've got a very similar position to the game. So Keith, I mean, one idea I guess is to maybe get his knight into here. So can he sort of reroute his knight?
Let's say knight e7, knight d5, knight f6 seems very strong. And yeah, it's immediately what he goes for.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say Keith is favourite to win, despite the fact it's probably a draw position.
Now maybe knight f6 and the rook ending might be winning. I don't know.
Well, yeah, f3. I can see he's trying to force his knight in, isn't he? He's trying to force his knight to f6. Of course, it's very unpleasant. I mean, I feel like we've probably picked a bad game for Jan here because he's probably a brilliant attacking junior player, and we've got him suffering in an end game, which is.
I was going to say every junior in the country has their stories of having to hold some ending against Keith and eventually losing it. So
probably
he can join the club.
Yeah, exactly. Should we try another one because
let's try a different one. Yeah.
Yeah. So who else have we got? Have we got any other titled players? So we've got. Amit's playing. Let's have a look at that. This is big clash. So this is Amit against who's Professor 101? Ishan. Wow.
So that'll be a good game.
So we've got two very strong players here, both young IMs. Is Amit an IM? Or is he becoming a GM? I don't know. I've lost track of.
He's still an IM. He's very close to GM. I think he just needs one more norm. But yeah. So what's the opening from this one?
I don't know. I mean, Amit is known for playing all these sort of sidelines. Well, it's quite impressive how he gets so good, and he doesn't really play in his main lines at all, does he? He just plays all this shifting around.
Exactly,
he's still very good.
And he's tried to go for this early attack with G4, but black response in the center. It doesn't feel too convincing.
Black's
the pawn comes up to G5.
Black's played quite well. I mean, Black's probably for choice here, but
for sure, yeah.
King F1 is a bit of a funny move because he's just lost a move effectively, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Bishop to F5, Rook to D2. I see he's trying to defend his pawn and block the pin at the same time.
It was a resourceful move, but it's a very desperate position for White here.
So you got H4.
Said, there's still practical chances with H5 to come potentially.
Yeah, and Black. I mean, to be honest with you, Ishan seems to have played this very well, hasn't he? Just breaking out in the centre.
And in terms of the clock, he's fully kept up with Amit, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's quick, isn't he? It just looks to me like Black is doing really well here. I mean, Ishan, I can't even flicking through it there. I can't really see any mistakes he's made at all. To be honest, he seems to be.
So White presumably got to play some sort of Rook takes D4 and then C takes D4, B4 maybe to break the pin, but. Then he might be calculating Bishop takes B4, A takes B4, Queen takes B4 at that point.
Yes, he's got to calculate Bishop takes B4, and he's got to just double check D takes C3 doesn't work as well.
Exactly. There's just so many ideas that Black has. I mean, Amit's burning a lot of time here.
Yeah, he has to double check. That doesn't work somehow. It probably doesn't because the king can come up with a rook covering this pawn, which is if this pawn gradually takes all the pieces. Probably doesn't, but I wouldn't guarantee it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Black was winning anyway. If there was something there, but
you wouldn't be surprised at all.
But your idea as well is pretty good. After B4, you're just giving up the bishop, and we're going to find out now, aren't we? We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Is he going to give up the bishop, or is there some way he can take all these pieces?
I want D takes C3 to work, but I'm not quite sure it does.
Takes. King D2, so that the rook's covering. And then Black presumably will play some sort of rook move or
rook D8 check, but then Bishop D3 blocks. It feels like what Black's running out of steam a little bit.
He's running out of pieces, isn't he, for the attack? He's clearly checking it out, isn't he?
He's trying to decide between the two options, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so the other option is take. I mean, obviously he can, of course, he just drop back, but that's not really a crowd pleaser. But of course, he could drop the queen back somewhere.
I was going to say Queen C7 might just be completely winning.
He has to worry about knight here. At first, I thought that's completely winning, but knight here does actually at least hit the bishop.
Yeah, fair.
Because he's gone for your option, bishop takes. I mean, the only slight annoying thing for him is that the D pawn's actually pinned.
This pin, exactly, yeah.
It's just a bit annoying. I mean, can he take time out to move his queen?
Queen A3 is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking Queen A5 to maintain the pin here, but okay, Queen A3 is perhaps Queen A5 is unnecessary. Perhaps Queen A3 just does the job.
I think they're both similar, yeah.
What? I mean, Amit is a
good. And try and grovel on, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to suggest.
I think he might just try on with something. I'm not sure what. I feel he might try to play on something.
Maybe even h5 and just after queen takes a1, knight d1, try and create, except you're losing on the queen side, try and create some sort of kingside attack.
He's done what you said, so he's got a knight there. Queen takes h5. By a different move order, he's done the same thing. And he's just trying to think. Yeah. The sort of last desperate attempt. I mean, what happens if black just takes this pawn and then he could even take back with the bishop?
I guess bishop d3. No, bishop d3 doesn't even work. Okay, yeah, he's gonna switch the h file.
He wants to try and checkmate. But this is, I think,
maybe black just runs with the king. So sort of rook d8, queen 8, rook d8, rook h1, king f8, and king e7, something like that.
She's looking to run away.
Yeah.
I wonder if he could do. Yeah, I was thinking queen checking and queen d8 is what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that would work as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was looking at. Queen a5 check, queen d8, just to try to offer a queen exchange before white gets a chance to put his rook on this line.
Yeah, I mean, so he'll definitely reject the exchange. Yeah. Now maybe some sort of knight f4. Just try and exchange pieces, simplify. If black can get it into an ending, he's definitely winning.
Does d3 work though? D3, because after rook h1, you just take an e2 check, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So d3 probably d3 was just completely winning, but knight f4. Of course,
I think they both work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he's hoping for knight takes e2, rook h. Instead of taking back, he'll play rook h1, and I'm not sure what's going on there.
And black can maybe try to move the f pawn and survive. Black probably still winning even there, to be honest. But
yeah, I'm not. Oh, he's allowing it. Okay.
Yeah, so perhaps he's just thinking he's going to f6. Okay, Ami didn't even go for it. Yeah. Bishop d3.
Bishop d3. This is feeling pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty terminal. Yeah, he's got to offer the queen trade.
Oh, well, having said that, black's only got 20 seconds. I've kind of lost track of this.
Oh wow. Okay.
I wasn't really paying attention to that. Suddenly, that
I know it creeps up on you.
It's just come out of nowhere, isn't it? It's 20 seconds.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
So
is 13 seconds enough for Yichin to win this? It's okay. Definitely, if he hangs his rook. Yeah, this is easy.
For someone of Ishan's age and speed, this is not a problem.
I was going to say, yeah.
Not, I mean,
he generations sort of being so used to playing online, pre-moving, and all of that. Sort of, you can win with very, very little time on the clock in that sort of situation.
I mean, you could really see the difference between him and Golubev, couldn't you? Who we watched a few.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Ishan could just.
That's kind of the generational gap, isn't it?
So, are there any other title players a bit low down? So we've had Amit playing. Golubev we've looked at. Obviously, we've got David. How about this Navigator? Should we try this?
Yeah, I'm not. Do you know who that is?
I think it's David. It's David. David O'Keefe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's. I might have played him before. I'm not sure. I think he's like a sort of steady 2200 type player. You know, he's kind of a reasonable player.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a feeling he does some junior coaching. I'm not totally certain on that. I've just got a feeling he does some junior coaching, maybe around the Richmond way or something of that nature.
Position we got here.
That's wrong, but I think that I've got a feeling he does. But he's a steady player, you know. He's a steady player, but he's in a load of trouble here, isn't he?
And Black's got this nice tactic with this in between move A takes B4, rook takes A8, and then B takes C3 check.
Oh, he didn't go for it.
Missed.
He could have grabbed an extra pawn by taking there.
Which position is still very strong though.
Maybe rook A2 check here. It looks really strong.
Yeah.
It's very hard for white to
come up with. Sort of anything can happen. His opponent's Ukrainian and about 1900s by the looks of it.
That's right. I mean, D4 check would have been more clinical there because there was no way for black to hold the bishop.
Yep.
So I think that's the difference between the sort of real top players like Isha. They just hunt down these opportunities, don't they? PlayStation, whereas
exactly
somebody slightly low
White's really sort of allowed his opponent back into the game here, sort of allowing with this bishop takes h5. He's picked up a pawn. Now there's maybe you can create a pass pawn on the king side. Rook e1, another nice tactical shot by White. Suddenly it's nowhere near
e4, then maybe you can take the knight take this pawn. Yeah, so we may see this. Well, bishop f3 I didn't really like so much. I thought
bishop f3, there's knight d3 check, winning the exchange. Yeah.
No, so he got himself back into it, didn't he, David? But then he missed his chance.
Yeah.
And now he probably will lose.
This is probably resignable with both sides having this much time left, but I guess is probably see him play it out until it gets.
We'll move on to the next one. I feel bad for him sitting there watching him lose.
Fair enough.
And then, so I think, have we covered all the title players? I think.
Who's Keith's playing another title player actually. I know we said we weren't going to keep watching him, but
yeah. No, but the only reason I said that was because I think on all the previous streams, a lot of people spend all their time watching.
Yeah.
Speak for David. It's quite nice for some other players to sort of have their moment in the limelight. But so I've clicked on this guy. I don't know who that is. NM. I don't know who that is.
Not sure.
He hasn't put his name on his profile. So this is a kind of Torre attack, isn't it? Which White's played here, but I mean Keith is so c5. Okay, e3. That seems reasonable.
Or fairly standard.
c3. I mean, I guess you could maybe delay that move because in some positions you might want to play c4. I guess. But okay, c3.
I was going to say c takes d4 feels a bit early, but I mean Keith's got this very clear plan that he wants to go b6, bishop a6, swap off his bad bishop. And now he's into a sort of Carlsbad structure that he knows so well. He's going to eventually play for b5, a5, b5 allows it immediately. And White's going to come under a bit of pressure in the queen side the next few moves, you would expect.
Yeah, it really feels like White's maybe gone slightly wrong here, doesn't it? Just
definitely, yeah.
Lost some control over the squares and the queen side a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. Controlling the c5 square. Neither knight really has a destination that they're happy with. And Black can just sort of keep playing here. Queen g4 feels maybe a little bit hopeful. And I reckon he's gonna, after knight f6, he's gonna put the knight from c7 onto d5. Yeah. Swapping the knights over, and the black position is kind of bulletproof here.
Will you take time out for g6? Do you think? Just g6, still f5.
Knight e7 is a good way to stop f5. Then yeah.
This knight on b3 needs to come back into the game somehow, doesn't it? It's somehow if I was White, I'd be thinking about trying to get this knight into the game somehow.
Absolutely, yeah. I think sort of knight d2 here probably makes sense. Just to cover e4 and try and get this knight back somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, so he's played that, so that's a sensible move. h5. So he's got an idea of this g4 move.
Well, it's actually sort of been very sort of resolute the last few moves to sort of try and just not crumble or anything.
Yeah.
That being said, that now Black's sort of exploiting the fact that the knight's gone away from b3.
Maybe knight e4. The h5 pawn's weak though, isn't it? So
yeah,
White's actually played. White's actually, like you say, White has kind of done what he could do, really, hasn't he? Okay,
yeah.
g6, yeah.
G4's ideas with like g4 are starting to look very dangerous. Actually, I don't know if he can play it immediately or not.
G4 he'll take. Okay. Yeah,
so maybe now knight g5, looking for maybe sacrificing ideas on e6 feels quite. Knight g3 is interesting too.
So is his idea to take on h5? Or,
I think he's probably taking back with the. What's he taking back here with the queen and that? Now f5's coming. I don't know. Feels like White's definitely made this sort of very concrete headway on the king's side. I mean, Black can grab a5 now if he wants, but it feels
takes time.
Very dangerous.
It takes time. Yeah.
He's gone for it. Not sure about taking on d6 rather than f5 there. So he's got to decide if he wants to exchange. I think agree that he should keep the rooks on.
So Keith's got a chance to try and get his queen in the game. If I was Keith, I would have tried to get my queen into the game then, probably. But because
the pieces of having a sort of one rook on a8, not participate, and the other rook on the queen on a5 is sort of a lot of black pieces out of the game at the same time. And this attack starting to feel very dangerous. White's now threatening rook takes f5, which I think he might play here.
He played it last go just as a full rook sacrifice. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Like,
it looked very interesting.
Here, I was really thinking about rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes, threatening rook h5 checkmate. How was black going to stop that?
I guess there's queen a1 check, but you reply rook a1. Should we catch up? I think they've made quite a few moves.
Okay, so after rook takes pawn, Keith just swaps the queen because he feels comfortable, doesn't he, with the queens off?
Exactly, yeah.
Swap the queens off, but now they're kind of repeating back and forward. But maybe black can try to win this.
Yeah, definitely. I think
because White's quite weak in the back rank. Yeah, still. But what was the b4? I was thinking, how about rook e8?
I think he just played rook e8 and White went back to f1 and had just repeated once. So he had to try something different.
And he could have gone rook e2, couldn't he?
Does rook e2 work there? I guess the king after rook f7, rook takes f7, the king maybe hides on h6.
Yeah, I mean, what h4 to threaten mates. Of course, a bit.
It's very, very hairy. I'm not surprised he didn't go for it.
Yeah.
But now it's who'd have thought it's going to be another 3v2?
It could be getting one of his 3v2, again. Yeah.
It's incredible. Without fail, he gets into these sorts of positions.
3v2. I mean, I want to have it. Yeah, this one here as well. He said 3v2 every single game. But see, that's why it's quite impressive that Keith does so well in these 24-hour marathons, because his style doesn't sort of lend itself to someone who's going to get quick knockout wins, because he's having to sort of work very hard to win these games.
At the same time, I guess it's just he's going to lose very few games in this sort of style. That, like, if he gets to an equal ending, and he's never going to lose it. And most of the time he's going to win it. He can sort of get quite a lot of streaks and also not use up that much energy. I think White's got quite a nice defending pattern here, but it's black can try so many different ideas. It's just practically really, really difficult. King f2 here.
Rook and pawn is tricky. I mean, I know I've played 2 rook and pawn games recently, within the last month, where I was a pawn up against a slightly low rated player, and I failed to win them both. Both of them I was expecting to win, but I think people's standard is improving.
Without doubt, yeah, absolutely. Now, if he can take, and if g3 works here, I think he's got it to what should be relatively comfortably holding. Rook e2 check. Why black he can block with rook g2.
You could try g3, but
Keith's not the sort of, I mean, I had an ending against him earlier this morning that was sort of it liquidated down to rook versus rook. He could have flagged me if he wanted to, but then didn't. So he's a very, very, very honourable player in that regard. I don't think he might be able to do that here with the time advantage, but I don't think he will.
Okay, king h1. Okay, I thought he'd
a little bit.
King h3 was perhaps possible then.
I was going to say I thought king h3 held immediately. I mean, this is still a fortress because of the because the g pawn's too close to the edge of the board, but White just has to keep his rook on the first rank, and there's nothing black can do.
If black tries to get pawn here, he could lose to rook a3 check, isn't he? So.
Rook a3, you could even lose. Yeah. Keith's just off for the draw. Yeah, that's fair enough.
No, that's a nice touch from Keith to offer a draw there, actually, because
absolutely
some players would be tempted to flag, wouldn't they?
For sure.
And then we've got another title player.
Mickey's playing.
Mickey. Oh yeah, let's have a look at this. Yeah. Well, we can't miss out on Mickey. And I mean, in what other event would you get a chance, as if you were Bradfield 133? I'm not sure who that is, to play Mickey. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Exactly. That is this is Mickey. Yeah, he's on 0 points. This is Mickey's first game in the entire tournament. Looks like he is winning relatively comfortably as you might expect. But it's still a fantastic experience for his opponent, and I mean a great thing for the for the event to have Mickey taking part.
Yes, he's played against Leon Bernard. So I don't know. I've got a feeling I might have played Leon at this tournament. I've got a feeling have you played him? I've got a feeling I played him.
I wouldn't be surprised. I can't remember all the people I played. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I played him.
So Mickey's
very, very professional by Mickey here.
He wants his queen on this diagonal if he can, winning a rook.
Something's going to drop just from the tactics at that point, and yeah. Meanwhile, he can pick which of the queenside pawns he wants to push and promote. Should be relatively straightforward. He's got plenty of time left, so I can't. I'd imagine he'll convert, but yeah, let's see.
It would be a big surprise if he doesn't convert from here. I mean, to be honest with you, what Mickey's done since he's come back into playing chess in England has actually, for my mind, been quite impressive, because there's a lot of deflation, a lot of quite strong young players like yourself, Matthew, and he's come into tournaments against all these kind of players, and he's still been able to sort of win pretty consistently. And I don't think people appreciate quite how hard that is to do. I mean, it really is tough. You look at some of the 2,400 players that we've got nowadays, for example. You got guys like yourself and Shreyas, and lots of very good players. There's Harry Grieve, who did some of the commentary earlier and was a British champion, and Marcus Harvey, Jonah Willett. There's loads of really strong players, and yet he still comes through and beats his players so consistently, doesn't he? And it's
incredibly impressive, yeah. And I think the fact that, I mean, the number of tournaments he's played, I mean, he's far more active than any of the other sort of top English players in terms of the tournaments he does play, especially within the UK. And yeah, he just consistently, I mean, in the Florencia weekend, just in May, I mean, he lost to Gawain. I think it was the first time I think he's lost a game in England in a very long time. Just the consistency to not lose games like that. And yeah, I mean, he's in the next couple of months, he's playing the English Championship and followed by the British. And be surprised if he doesn't win both of them and sort of continue his streak.
Well, I think certainly the British he would be big favourite. English is slightly shorter, isn't it? So it's a bit more.
It's only 7 rounds, yeah. So there's maybe there's some capacity for randomness. I think I'll check that. I could check the entries, but I think Gawain's playing in both of them as well. So it'll be a good fight between both of them.
It is quite.
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice as well for players of us sort of level to get the opportunity to play them. I quite enjoy having the opportunity to play these guys, so it's nice to have them in the tournaments, really.
Exactly, yeah.
Although I always lose to Mickey. I think I've played him 4 times and I've lost every single one. So Gawain I've had a bit more success against, but that's probably because they're slightly younger than me. So there was times when I caught
them on the way up.
Yeah, exactly, and scored some points against them whilst I could. Whereas Mickey's slightly older than me, so I've never quite had that luxury. But this is. I think last year I played quite a lot, and I scored about 500 and something points from memory. So Keith and David have already got more than that, and there's still a couple of hours to go. So it does make you realise it's quite an achievement to get big scores like this. I mean, David's played 231 games. Very impressive.
David's got one.
Yeah, I've got Amit against David. That'd be a good game. I'll let you choose. Would you like to watch Amit against David, or would you like to watch Mickey again?
Should we let's have a look at Amit versus David, because this
is a big clash, isn't it? And these are both very strong players.
And it feels like Amit's built up a really nice position here. It's just a question of whether he can what he can do with the platform he's got for himself. It looks like he's going to try some sort of attack on the king side. Maybe either with G5 or F5, or maybe both coming in the next couple moves.
Yeah, so I would class David and Amit as quite similar style players. I mean, Amit's slightly stronger, but they're quite similar. They're both, neither of them really keen on openings, but they're both very strong blitz players. and
strong blitz players. They're great tactically. They're both really good under pressure. Yeah, it was sort of interesting, sort of seeing two people with very similar styles play each other, and the sort of whether they cancel each other out or not.
No, it feels like White's breaking through now, doesn't it? Can you go D5? I'll be very tempted to play D5, and then I'll be even looking at Knight F7 and E5. I was
going to say D5, Knight D4 is probably forced, and then I mean you can think about the exchange sack on D4. Take the sack on F7. It all seems very good.
This just
it might even be some sort of Knight C6 idea there, and then E5 to open up the long diagonal.
So what you're saying is D5, and later you get the knight to this square, then E5,
or something like that. You can sort of play. You can play the idea without even having to sacrifice anything.
It does fit. I mean, D5. I'm not really sure what Amit's thinking about here, because I would be playing D5 in a heartbeat.
Are there any resources for black there? I can't see them. He's probably just calculating D5, Knight D4, which of the good options to try.
Presumably he's going to sack, like you say.
I think one of the various sacrifices look too tempting not to play, to be honest.
Yeah, so takes, rook takes.
Yeah, he is going for this Knight C6 idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So if takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Then the idea is you're going to go E5 and open that
wins everything.
So can David? Has he got any resources here at all?
Maybe he takes on C6, D takes, but then doesn't take the pawn. But that again feels very sad. And you, as White, you probably play E5 anyway. E5 comes. Yeah. It's all kind of collapsing for Black, really.
Like you say, he's quite resourceful. So let's see if he can come up with something to give himself a chance.
So if anyone can, it's probably David. Even if he is 20 hours in or whatever. Don't know if he did. Did he? Yeah. Has he played throughout? I can't remember.
He has a bit. Actually, I'm on the same group chat as him because we live very close to each other. We both play for this Brentwood team. He said he went out for some walks or something, but I think even when he was on his walks, he had his phone on and he was still playing some games. So I'm not sure. The fact that he went for some walks, I don't even think really counts as him not playing.
So no, yeah.
No, but this is he's just given up the pawn now. Yeah, and
D6 and D7.
D6, D7 looked almost game over immediately, didn't it? But Amit's just building up slow. Of course, Amit's got it under control.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a nice situation to be in where you're so much better and you can afford to take your time like this. And Amit's just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure there's no chance. I'm surprised he's delaying D6.
It's like literally, it's like he needs an invitation to play it. I mean,
I'm gonna say there we go. Finally.
I mean, we know he's going to win anyway, but D6. I mean, he's just sitting there waiting to be played.
I mean, he's left his bishop hanging on A3. It feels like he's sort of given Black some unnecessary potential for counterplay. Yeah, if he played D6 and moved before, he would have just clearly won a rook.
Yeah, perhaps he can just get rook D8 here. Though. Is he going to win the knight after rook D8?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just clearly winning, but
yeah, because he's got bishop. If King F8, bishop C6 to think about. Yeah, so.
I mean, he's still only an exchange up here.
Yeah, he didn't need to allow this with his stupid move. He could have just gone through and David would have resigned. So he didn't need to be messing around. But
because now there's very with a slightly weak king, there's definitely chances for this to go wrong. Actually,
yeah, it could be a perpetual somewhere, couldn't there? Or if you over.
Now Queen D4, I think is would be quite a strong idea. Sort of
swap. Black will maybe move the queen.
Maybe Queen D2. Either way, try and reduce material somewhere here, because while the queens are still on, your king is just so weak with the he's going for Queen D4.
Oh, he swaps, yeah. Okay, so he set up a trap. This is actually, I mean, if he grabs his pawn,
I think it's.
Okay, bishop on your B4 here. So actually,
bishop F1 B4.
So
the pawn's actually quite runs quite quickly. Okay, he's going bishop c6, bishop e8. That's nice. But presumably black goes king f8 here to stop it, or
okay, king f8, yeah, to stop bishop e8.
And I mean, meat's now almost down to 30 seconds. I mean, you could so
Yeah,
easily lose
b3
this.
is a bit now bishop e8 perhaps.
Bishop e8, maybe he's hoping for king f8. Then if bishop takes f7, b2, and you actually pick up the bishop, I think.
Yeah, so bishop here just met by king here.
Now is there rook b4 ideas? He's probably got to play b2.
The thing is, with someone like David, if you give him half a chance, do you know what I mean? You give him half a chance.
I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, Amit is quick though, but he's going to have to be really quick here to win this. He's quick though.
I would have I think taking on d5 would have been easier there than sort of king d3 next. Okay, so he's given up the pawn. Even this is sort of still quite a challenging technical win, I think.
Yeah, he's going to get 5.
There's a lot of counterplay black can create.
Okay, Matthew, I'll put you on the spot. What result do you think it will be?
I think Amit's going to get flagged. It's my gut instinct. Just because David is almost as quick as him.
Oh, he's dropped his rook. Oh, that's not saying David. He's a real, yeah.
How he's managed to not only not lose this but win it is, I mean, fair play to him to do that. Having been playing for 20 hours in a row, it's just incredibly impressive.
I mean, it is. I mean, it wasn't a massive mistake from Amit. He just started mucking around, didn't he? When he could have
he could have played d6 straight away, I thought, and maybe he was worried about queen d7 ideas. I mean, it's still even then it feels so strong for white.
But
anyway, I mean
David,
very well resisted by David throughout.
Yeah, very resourceful. We've got a couple more players on here. So we've got McCarthy Stone. That I think is Jonathan Payne. It is, yeah.
Okay. So I haven't seen him play. This is his first game as well, actually. So he's just joined the tournament. He's well ahead on the clock here, but his opponent sat to piece. He's very quick and very, very dangerous here.
And he's going to watch out for rook f5 as well at the right moment.
So rook f5 here, I think, just wins the piece back and gets 2 rooks on the 7th. So white should not lose. I mean, he might still get flagged.
And if rook e7, then here
h7 I think worked, yeah.
But here, I mean, pretty h7 was a bit sloppy because it allows a black king out. I didn't really like this.
Now the rooks aren't quite as strong. Johnny is going to win on time in the next couple moves.
Yeah.
It's
so black's going to win on time. Yeah. But white had a good position. Okay, black's going to win on time. And then because we're getting quite close in, who else have we got here? We've got Gobbles 19. Who's that?
Sure.
I'm not sure who that is.
Another very interesting position. White's an exchange down, but has white strong compensation with the knight on f6. Yeah, it's just whether it's enough.
Oh, taking the pawn. Well, probably they were, because it would have been the queen here, but perhaps they were worried about, was there a queen d1 check there to worry about the rook?
Exactly, yeah. So maybe now reroute the knight to d6 to block the queen. Yep.
Yeah. White's got to be a little bit careful in this diagonal. There's not a rook h1 checkmate at some point.
Yeah, I mean, white just needs to not blunder and wait for black to. Or alternatively, just black hanging a queen book.
Just at the wrong moment, but it's some interesting games there.
Hi there. Thank you, Rich and Matthew. Thank you. That was really nice.
That does our hour, doesn't it?
That is your hour.
I think we covered quite a lot of players there, didn't we? We've tried to move around.
Yes.
And it's
covered a good mixture of players. Thank you very much for doing the commentary.
It's good to see
Jonathan Blackburn. Hello, and I think Akshaya will be joining us in just a moment. So if you guys are okay to stick around for another couple of minutes till Akshaya gets here, and we'll just start on the next game, and then 3 of us will drop off, and I'll leave Jonathan and Akshaya.
Well, I guess then.
Mickey's on again. We did see Mickey, don't we?
We've got Mickey. So he's actually playing against, I think, GM Norfolk. He's not actually a GM. It's Andrew Brett. So I know because he plays in the same team as he plays with Barbican, the Forward Sale, same team as yourself, Natasha. In fact,
that's right.
And same as Max has been playing this season.
He's actually got quite good chances of holding here, or maybe even more.
Yeah, what are you trying to win? Yeah. Mickey's made a bit. Is not doing that well here, actually, is he?
Yeah, I mean, he'll pick up. He's going to have this sort of H and A pawns versus E and F pawns, and the connected pass pawns you think are going to be really strong.
Yeah, because he pushed the rook round behind. I'm not even sure how Mickey's going to. I mean, he's surely in trouble here, isn't he?
Hello, Jacob.
I think that Black needed, to play something like King E5 there and hide the king in front of the pawns. But so to King G5.
Now, hang on a second though. But last move. Could Mickey instead of King G5 have gone A7? What does White do then? What does Black do after A7?
Exactly, A7 and Rook H8. I think just one on the spot.
Yeah. But somehow Black's gone a bit wrong anyway. He's allowed Mickey's king in. Yeah, you don't get second chances against Mickey. I know that from personal experience. Yeah. So you definitely don't get second chances against him. So.
Hello there. Right, Jonathan, can you hear me? You've gone very still. Good.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Hi, Akshaya.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Okie doke. I'm going to say thank you very much to Rich and Matthew.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And okay. And we lost. I hidden the wrong person there. Where's Jonathan? Let's show Jonathan. Okay. Let's get our. Here we go. Here's Jonathan. Hello. Sorry, I think I must have hidden you on the screen there. You're going to be sharing your screen?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Put it on.
Brilliant. Hello, Jonathan Blackburn's screen. There we go. Okay, Jacob, come.
Is Jacob with us as well?
I believe yes, he's here. He's here. But I can't see him or hear him at the moment. Aha. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to go off stream, but I will let Jacob in when he gets here. Here we go. Yay! Good. Thank you, all 3 of you.
We can't hear him though.
Can't hear him. Can see him. Lots of hand movements. We can't hear you, Jacob. Can't hear you.
It's just an old man with technology. That's what it is.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think I will.
I think he's trying to sort it out. So if he.
I'm going to drop off, and then you guys can kind of you'll run the show, Jonathan.
Cool. Okay, right.
Have a good stream. See you.
Yeah, thanks, Natasha, and thanks for all the hard work that you've done on this this year too. I know how much hard work it is.
You know you've done it. Yeah.
I can actually say that. So it's been great, and what a fantastic.
Can anyone hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, brilliant. Yes. Yeah. Welcome.
We can hear you.
Yeah, no, as I was trying to say, somehow this software doesn't want all my normal setup. So I had to unplug a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All good now. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Enjoy your stream.
Thank you.
Cheers. Right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Jacob, as well. You're a bit of a late addition coming on in, and but it's great to have you on there as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. No. I the moment I saw about it, I said, "How can I join?" So.
Cool.
Last time I was on something like this, it was called Hand and Brain for Ukraine, and it was with Kostya from Chess Dojo, and my youngest daughter was at some point playing with me, and she was doing the hand and I was the brain, and she said queen at some point. I was like, we're check, we have to move the king. She's like, why didn't you take with the queen, Daddy? So let's see if I'll make an equal fool out of myself here. I was like, when I was hearing old man in technology, I was like, that's my line.
I know, that's what...
So I use it.
So, Akshaya, have you been tempted to play in this at all, or?
I might have played, but I didn't really get the time to. But I'm commentating on it, so it's exciting enough. You
thought that'd be the better idea. To be honest, if you just do a couple of hours of commentary or an hour of commentary, it saves you 24 hours of heartache, knowing that somebody like Keith is usually going to beat you. But looks like that's not going to happen this year with David Hayden, because I don't know if you know this, Jakob, but Keith's won this, I think, is it for the last 4 seasons that it's been running? Nobody can quite get close to him because he's been playing through the night. But this year, for the first time ever, David Hayden has played through the night and amassed more than 100 points at the moment. We finish at 5 o'clock, so there's only 3 hours left, or 2 hours 53 if you're looking at it. And I don't know how many more points he can actually catch up. It could be that David will get to the point very soon where he doesn't need to play anymore because Keith won't be able to catch him. And 229 games for Keith, 233 games for David Hayden. So he's played better as well because that's only 4 more games. So yeah, absolutely amazing effort. And
Fire of 13, that sounds quite immense.
Yeah, well, he's basically on a 13-game winning streak, but I think that's quite unusual. I mean, I saw before, you can't see it at the moment because they're all quite low, but for example, I think one of the Perts was on 21-game winning streak, and it's quite common for that to happen as well. Well, shall we have a look at some of the games and see what happens? And anybody that you'd like to
I think Keith is not doing well here. It looks quite bad.
Yeah, this pawn here is pretty huge, right?
Well, a lot of long-term problems here. The end game looks as bad as middle game.
Can Black try to get the rook onto c2?
Yeah, probably rook c3 first, and then rook c2 next, right? So rook c3, and then queen a2 looks forced. And this also,
just chose to triple it, didn't he?
No, but h5, h6 is actually... No, that also doesn't work because you exchange everything, and then the pawn ender would be lost. But here, if Black plays h6, it should be totally winning.
You rook c2 now?
Well, then the king comes out.
Okay, rook c3 first.
Yeah.
I think this is a weakness here, isn't it?
Yeah, queen h6 could be annoying.
Yeah.
This is also a weakness now it's been moved.
Yeah.
It's good to see a Ukrainian, I'm assuming a Ukrainian player coming in. There's quite a few Ukrainian players.
Well, Slava Ukraine, it could be anyone, yeah.
It could be anybody, but Ukraine flag, a picture with the Ukraine colours and the name, we'd assume so. There's quite a lot of flags from all over the place, and I guess one thing that we did have a couple of Welsh leaders half an hour into the tournament, and then we had to stop playing, and but a lot of Ukraine flags playing in. Greg Toshchek's our Welsh player. He's in 16th place at the moment, not playing anymore, got 200 points though. Yeah, lots of different people from different areas.
So is rook e3 an option here? No, probably not. No, it doesn't work. Yeah.
I think this is what Keith's quite good at, though, is even though he's completely lost and he knows any.
No. Oh, this is going to be wild.
Oh no!
And then now it's perpetual, yeah. Queen c7 is perpetual, and there's nothing else. I think.
And rook f2, f8.
Oh, king g3.
F2 check.
King h2. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. But I'm even not sure king e5. How do you punish it?
I don't think either of us are trying to punish. I don't think we would have taken on E3, would we?
No, but well, he's committed now. So
yeah, he's committed.
Okay,
now.
King E5. You play E3 maybe, and it's wild. But wow.
So I can't see any chat messages coming through. Is there people watching in the chat? Somebody's put something in. Usually I get some chat messages through. You can see, say hello to us. See who's watching at the same time. As we see if Keith can, well, he's definitely going to come second, isn't he, at least? But I don't know if you were watching the previous stream, but Nick and Matthew were saying, or was it Richard and Matthew? I missed. They were saying that Keith was basically king and rook versus king and rook against somebody. He could have flagged, I think it was Matthew, but he decided to offer a draw because it was drawn. So he's not completely brutal in his flagging situation. And I think I know quite a lot of players actually would have actually flagged somebody in that case. Are you a dirty flagger, Jakob?
I'm a very dirty man. You know me well. No, I'm actually not a dirty flagger. I'm not. Not in things like this. Queen H7, and but we're gonna get into some endgame now. But there's this rook E1 threat coming.
It doesn't matter because there's no increment, so 1 second is not enough to move.
Oh, mate. Queen B7 was mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dirty. But okay, there's no way to make a draw. So.
Oh, that is, I mean, technically a dirty flag, but I guess he can be let off with a few of them.
Well, you know, that's. I don't think it's dirty. If you spend all your time to find the mate and you cannot execute it.
It's part of the game now, though, isn't it? I mean,
but it's online, okay. It's blitz. But no, I think the thing that's on the dirty flagging is king and rook against king and rook, and you're just moving on, and there's no play. Here it's like black's not playing for draw. Why should white just resign? Like it also doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Is there anybody that either of you two really want to take a look at here?
Well, you know me. You know the text is too small for me to actually see who is who.
All right, Shia, you can choose then. Anybody that you really want to follow at all or see for the games?
I'm happy for you to choose, to be honest.
For me, okay. Well, I'll choose Richard Bates against Carmel Jane then, just because I think that if we look at the standings, I'll just bring up the prizes at the moment just so we can see what they're actually playing for. So here's the commentary schedule on the English Chess Federation. So as long as they've donated £5 or more in advance, they're eligible for a place prize. So there's obviously the top three, which we kind of know, I think, who are definitely going to be top two, probably top one. But there's also a main place prizes. There will be a separate prize for the highest placed junior ECF member and highest placed female ECF member as well. And I don't know every single person here. I think that's Jude Shearsby, isn't it? Queens and Pawns. I don't know who that is exactly, but I think most.
Let's go back to the standing, because I think like Charlie and someone else were in big Queens and Pawns. So this is sort of the big fight for third. Yeah, look, we should be following that probably.
We should be, but I think the highest placed female is currently. I don't know
you were going to say it was Richard Bates, which is
no. I think it might be Carmel Jane, but I'm not sure. I don't know who Oppo 610 is. WFM, Gem DZQ. Do we know who this is? Because Carmel Jane and them. So Carmel's on 169, she's on 184. So still over these 2 hours 45 minutes to play. That's going to be quite a tight race there at the moment. But
and on a winning streak as well. It was 3 in a row.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's look at the game. So we want to have a look at, well, just lost that one.
Was Charlie, and who was the other one? It was Queens and Pawns.
Queens and Pawns. Okay, well, let's have a look at Charlie then. So he's got David Hayden, who's currently in first place. So this is a key matchup.
Ooh. That's not a very good position.
Well, hang on. Let me just go back to the start of this game, actually, because I'm pretty sure because Charlie is named Story Sniper because he's written a book called The Sniper, hasn't he? Where you basically fianchettos all the time, and here he is fianchettoing and actually doing the double fianchetto, really standing by his guns. And
this move I didn't like. This knight c3 here. If you go back here, he should have played d3 or something, so he can follow with knight f3.
Yeah, I guess he wants to play this move, doesn't he? But can't.
Yeah, but so d3. But here it's like, and now taking on d5 is also. There's a very simple principle on these kind of things, which is called tension. When pieces can take each other, which unless you get great benefit, you shouldn't do it. Here, he opening the c file, of course, is a great benefit, but not for white. And the pawn on d5 is quite strong. So this was quite a serious positional mistake.
He's trying to block it up, isn't he? But it looks like he's struggling.
He's crashing through on the queen side.
Yeah. This really doesn't look very good.
I kind of went for this h4, g4 stuff a bit too quick, and then dropped the h4 pawn, and the h file is open.
Well,
but
I'm not sure that actually was so bad, but he lost a lot of time.
Rook c8. Now rook e2, maybe bishop g5.
Yeah, I was wondering here if we could somehow sacrifice the queen, and but he can't make it work.
Or if when he takes on c2 to sack the queen.
No, I was thinking bishop e4 and then rook e8, bishop f5. I cannot make it work at all. There's bishop h4 and
Oh, hang on, that might have worked though, because when you take on h7, king f8, you've got bishop a3.
No, but you have king h8, and when the bishop go back, you have bishop h4. Yeah, and then you get time for g6 and everything.
But you might have time though to play knight f3 then and win the bishop.
Yeah, g6, king g7. I don't think so.
Kind of thing that I would definitely play in this kind of tournament and in Blitz. Why not?
Yeah,
do it?
No, like it's what you're there for, yeah. Okay, here things have gone very well for white compared to how it was.
Yeah.
So where did he go wrong then? So what should he have done here? So bishop e4.
Yeah, rook e8 here. I think just winning.
And this is where. So can I do this?
We're not allowed to analyze. It's because they make a move, then it jumps back, right?
Yeah. I think I have to.
Rook e8, bishop f5, rook e2, bishop h7, king h8, knight e2. Actually, no, white could do that.
Yeah.
Here it's like here, white's maybe not worse at all. Rook dg1 and this is too early. It's too early. You're not ready. There's no obvious follow-up.
What would be your tactics for these tournaments, both of you? If you were to play the full amount, what would be your strategy for the event?
I think with 5 minutes, it's not really one way you can just blitz it and just play as quick as possible. So probably play. I would be as strategic as possible and play as good as a game as I can until I get very low on time, and then you can get into these bishop e4, bishop h7 kind of tricks. I think. Before then, I'll try to just play good chess.
Makes a lot of sense.
On Lichess, you can do this thing where you cut your time in half. I don't know if you can do that on chess.com.
Yeah. What's it
called? It shows how much I play online.
It's like Go Berserk, I think it's called.
Berserk, yeah.
You half your time, but you get an extra point if you win.
Here, I think we are on the way to see a white triumph. Queen d7, queen e7, queen d5, queen e6, rook g5. But
queen d7, queen c2, though, I think.
Ooh, don't take my pieces. It's unfair.
I don't know. I think if black can defend. Oh, hang on.
I'm like a 4-year-old, only looking at my own options.
Oh, nice defense there with g5, the kind of classy move.
Rook e1. ask where the queen is going.
Your rookie one, queen g6.
Also rook f1, just ready to take on f6. But rook e1, what did you want to do? Sorry, Akshaya?
Rook e1, queen g6.
Ah, that's a good move, yeah.
I think rook f1 was better, actually. But maybe f5.
Well, I thought bishop f4 was there, and then the queen gets kicked off. I think e6 was way too early. It was sort of a little bit too desperate.
It's quite difficult because white's queen can't actually, has to keep on defending c2. So it's difficult to actually get in.
Actually, a little bit of counterplay here, maybe.
This is a really interesting game because David Hayden has black 16-game winning streak. Story Sniper Charlie is on a 9-game winning streak. He's actually in 3rd place, but he's actually played.
But here he takes back all the pawns.
Yeah, queen f7, rook h7.
Yeah, and rook e8, and now it's no. Now everything's time is going.
Yeah.
No, and my strategy for stuff like this would be to go berserk, because I don't see anything anyway, so I might as well just play fast. It's only in bullet that berserk doesn't work for me. So.
I think with it being, I think that it suits people that can play super fast, doesn't it? If you can do something like that, because you want to get through as many games as quickly as possible.
Ooh, queen h7 there.
Ooh.
It's just winning on time, yeah?
I think so.
Rook a8.
Oh, check.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a close one.
Yep.
So another win for David, and he's 140 points ahead now, so it's going to be difficult for Keith to catch him.
I think impossible is a technical word.
Yeah, impossible. We've got 2.
How's Queens and Rook doing? Who's
Queens and Rooks. Queens and Rooks.
Let's try to find Queens and Rooks.
I don't think he's... Oh, there we go. Queens and Pawns it is. It's Jude Shears.
Queens and Pawns, sorry.
I had the honour of drawing with him last night for one game.
Who is it, sorry? Do you know who it is?
It's a young junior called Jude Shearsby. I think he's in his teens, but he's from Coventry area. Plays for Coventry Chess Academy, where Paul Lamb does a lot of great work. So yeah, I know him personally. I haven't had loads of conversations with him. Played one game over the board with him, which was quite interesting. But he's put some effort.
Rook f5 and knight g3 here. Maybe queen takes g3 at the end, right?
He's playing against the person in 7th place, Junior Tay. So somebody else who's been playing a lot of games. I saw a tweet or a comment that Jude Shearsby fell asleep twice last night or overnight while he was mid-game. So he lost 2 games because he fell asleep at his keyboard. Now, I don't know about you, but we didn't have this really when I was like 16, 17, 18, or even in my early 20s. If we had tournaments like this online, it was good experience. I know this is exactly what I'd want to be playing in. I'd be here for 24 hours trying to last.
Last time we actually had a real conversation where both of us were speaking. You called me grandpa. So that's sort of say that if it didn't happen when you were young, it definitely didn't happen when I was young.
And I guess actually you're definitely bringing down the average age here. Are these kind of tournaments like quite normal for you then? Is this something that you've grown up with? Or is this?
I haven't played in one myself actually, but I think I am of the generation of where this has become more common. But I haven't played in one myself.
I think the last move here was a mistake. Rook g6 and then the other rook to rook g6, queen h2. Okay, no, sorry. Player is good. I'm bad.
But actually, I was going to ask, do you know other people in your kind of age bracket that are playing these all the time? Because you have the Lichess titled 24-hour bullet thing, and there are other tournaments like this that are pretty regular. I just thought that if you're in that kind of age where you've not got so many responsibilities, shall we say, as old people. I would have thought people would be all over this. and playing in these 24-hour tournaments constantly. But maybe not the case. I don't know.
Actually, apart from the ECF marathons, I haven't seen. I'm sure there is a lot out there, but I haven't seen that many out there myself.
Okay.
It's not even sure this is such a big advantage for Black. Defending
Queen
well.
A4 now?
Yeah.
In fact, how's the rook defended?
Well, it's hanging now, yeah. So b6 was a good move. I don't know. Maybe rook h5, try to create some counterplay, but then queen b2.
Yeah.
Blundering all the time.
Queen
yeah. Now it's coming. Yeah, queen e6 and rook f5. It's not going to be so easy to. Then there's rook e8, of course. Okay.
All I can think about here is get that pawn on f5 and set up a nice perpetual check.
This is hoping for something here. The queen e8 and pawn up. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know about this, Akshaya, but Jack, you definitely do. But there are actually, I've heard of people playing in over-the-board 24-hour tournaments in Europe.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. One of my friends has played in one, and he says it was absolutely amazing. But they do it in Europe apparently relatively frequently, or did do anyway, I guess, until the online world just took over.
Oh, no. The king should have gone to g3 here. Now queen comes to f4. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I once played a classically rated tournament with 11 rounds in a weekend.
What was the time
rounds?
control?
It was 2 hours plus half an hour. It's easy enough. You start at 7 on a Friday night and finish 1 on a Sunday night, 1 in the morning.
Wow.
55 hours, 11 rounds. I won the tournament.
You're nuts.
Should be said. I had a strategy of just playing safe. So in the whole tournament, I was worse in one position for one move. That's all. Otherwise, I just tried to avoid blunders. But there was one game I had. It was 4th round. I had queen and knight versus queen, and this is with the old clocks. You don't know how close they are to flagging, and there's no increment. So we're just making all these moves everywhere around the board. It was definitely played 50 moves doing that. There's no write down the moves because there's less than 5 minutes. And then in the end, okay, we agree a draw. And then immediately, bang, the next pairing comes straight into the next round. And I thought, this is a bit much.
Would you play again?
No, I'm old now, It's for young people. So.
Analog clocks, that brings us back. God.
Yeah, I tried once to explain to Sabino Brunello why I didn't like increment. And he was like, after listening to me for a few minutes, he was like, I have never played a game without increment. And what? I thought I'm really old. And I think still majority of my games I've played has been without increment. So, actually, have you played without increment? Like not blitz, but like classical?
I think I have, but very, very rarely.
Some league game somewhere, maybe.
Yes, I've definitely played in a league game, but I think the majority of my games are definitely with increment.
Yeah. Now
the real question, the real question is actually, have you played with an analog clock before?
I did when I was younger, when I first started out, but you don't really see them anymore.
Yeah, a lot of clubs have bought them up, haven't they? Because they've become cheaper, and so local league clubs have done it.
Yeah,
which is I guess good. But turning back the clock to give you both of you an extra half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour, and not knowing whether you're down to 2 minutes or 1 minute, it's crazy. Looks like
the best is when it was really useless arbiters who sort of don't take a replacement clock and set it half an hour back, but take the same clock and just put it half an hour back, and you say, I think I had more time than that. And they look at it like, how can we tell?
But you clearly, if you had not played with them, though, you haven't actually...
Let's find a better game than this here, I think.
Yeah, we'll change over. But you've also got the... you could claim a draw if you're under 2 minutes and your opponent's not trying to win. which is that led to a lot of anger, shall we say. Let's have a look at the standings. Obviously, you've got the players at the top, queens and pawns there. Who's playing here? Wads is back on.
Anyone on the street?
He was just commentating, Matthew was. So let's have a look at.
Let's
get playing against Maxim Tatarinov.
It's tempting to do something here. Just play. Yeah, queen e7, whatever. Pawn up.
I'll just go back to the start so we can see how it developed.
Oh, bishop e6.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I think it's quite normal.
Yeah.
And here straight away plays c5, which is quite nice for people watching, I guess, to give the bishop the square. The only tournament I want to play in, I think, is I want to go on a cruise where you play in the chess tournament at the same time. It's probably going to be the only time that my wife would actually want to go to a chess tournament.
Oh no! We're gonna do like a lot of when we do quality chess, Killer Chess Training Open. We're gonna do have a separate spouse and kids activities and so on. As we did when we had a training camp in Crete in 19?
I guess while you've mentioned it, we've got, I think that you were helping out as well, but we've got obviously a lot of our sponsors for this tournament, chess.com, Chessable, Elkin Ruby and Chess and Bridge. I'm sure Quality Chess, I thought you gave something last time?
Nobody asked us. That's simply the reason why. We have our warehouse is quite close to Ukraine, and we have over the last few years we've given at times things there, and the people who own the warehouse that we work with, they have done various things, and whenever they ask for anything, we have given. But it's not really like, this is not something for us which we would think about as a promotional thing.
Yeah.
So it's
just seeing in the chat, Jude actually just saying that he won that game as white. Do you remember the last one where he was down?
Oh gosh. I don't know if we should be happy or sad we missed that. I think happy is probably the most.
I think it's because you were talking about quality chess. I mean, obviously that's pure quality.
Yeah.
Don't know about you, but I think Matthew's in a bit of trouble here.
Queen c4 looks a bit unpleasant, though.
Knight d5.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh, I knight d5 and then queen d4. Okay.
Sorry, where? Queen d4 doesn't hang the queen.
G for Gestapo.
Oof.
Gelato 4.
Oh, apparently Charlie stopped playing after that loss.
Oh.
So Jude might be able to catch him up, perhaps.
Ooh.
Queen f6.
And bishop
oh,
g5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Queen g6.
Queen g6, knight e5.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some wild move after knight e5 or here.
Can you play knight f? No, that's more.
Knight f6, were you thinking?
Yeah, with a knight g6, if you still.
Yeah. No, it still hangs on d8.
Yeah.
No, but it hangs on g6 at the end, though.
Yeah, but here knight e5, knight f6, knight g6, or knight here. Knight f6, and then knight g6, knight g4, and bishop d8. It looks just winning.
If queen d6 here, can you just go knight f5?
Well, it's repetition after queen g6, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Just take, and oof, that's a nice move.
Yeah.
Now queen d7 or queen a8. Queen a8 probably. And then queen. Oh, don't go queen e4. Queen f4, knight f4, king f3, exchange queen knight e2. Some chances.
Matthew's going to have to play quickly here, though.
Yeah, it looks lost, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a goner, but he's playing quick.
I think the lesson from the previous game is we need to, when we get close to the end, we have to actually look to the end. I hear just e4, f4, and I think an h4. Maybe h4 first would have been good, but still h4 here.
As his opponent's time ticks down, I don't know. I start to think that it's somebody
now
gets
knight
chances here.
c6 comes here. Yeah. And check and take the pawn.
Yeah.
Just moves super quick here. That's all he can do.
Yeah. Oof. Check and f6. Or like this and f6. I like check better because it was controlling the c5 square. But here,
finally timed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, made him work for it, right? Oh, okay, we're staying for this one. This is 2 IMs going at it.
And the winning streak is continuing, 18 games in a row.
Yeah, for David Hayden, he's absolutely killing it. To keep that level of quality up there after you've been playing for like over 20 hours.
And just to, you have to correct me if I'm wrong here because everything's very small on this small screen, but it's he's an FM, right?
Yeah, he's an FM, yeah.
Yeah, it's very small for me here.
Yeah.
And I'm old.
The two people that were just commenting before as though they're playing right now. So
excellent.
So it's great to see this. Natasha just put that in the chat just to double check. I sometimes get confused between Richard and Nick Pert, between which one's playing.
Well, when they were younger, they looked quite a lot alike, I would say. And then, they both have like scars of life to distinguish them from each other. Let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't had my own share of cupcakes, but it's sort of been like with them. They've sort of taken turns a little bit of being.
It's interesting for the opening choice here, though. It feels like we've gone down a main line, and yet actually, in tournaments like this, sometimes you want to be trying quick tricks. You want to be trying kind of like, shall we say, offbeat openings, perhaps like an Albin counter gambit or something like that.
You think so?
Yeah, I do actually. I think if you really want to win this, you want to get as many points as possible. I think that you should.
My now he doesn't have a streak, but my understanding of these things here, arena tournaments, is that the streak is really the thing, and you should avoid losing in a stupid way. So here Queen B7 and Black's probably fine. Why should play G4 here? Come on. G4 is the move.
They're playing very sensibly, aren't they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think actually I agree with you. Actually, you said play sensible chess, basically. Play as you normally would. I'm now going crazy, right?
Oh, this is the move I wanted to avoid with white because of B4 and knight E4 coming. I think b4 and knight e4, and black would have been doing quite well. What's sort of the thing is when you make this commitment with white, where you take on this bad bishop on b2, you can do it, but you have to put the pawns on light squares. Otherwise, you risk getting into these positionally dodgy things. Now b4 and knight e4. Come on, what's this? Knight g5, knight works. Oh. Yeah, now white is this works now.
Somebody's backing me up here. Jude the Juggernaut, that's the person in third or fourth, Kings and Pawns. Just put in the chat that he's been playing the England Gambit, the Stafford Gambit, the Danish Gambit, the Al counter Gambit. I'm assuming that's the Albin counter Gambit, and b5 or d5 c6 against c4. So he's been playing sacrificial lines, and he says it's been working out for him so far.
Well, I can guarantee you that Keith has not, and he's doing better. So
well, true. This is true. I guess you have to look at. I guess you have to look at how many games have been played, right? And
Yeah,
And
how many
different-
games? Oh my
different
god!
ratings. So Queens and Pawns has got 124.5 out of 180. Keeps on 191 out of 233. And
That's
David
an
Hayden's
insane amount of games.
216 out of 238. So yeah.
Yeah, play to. Ooh, this move I didn't like. G6.
I guess that's one thing about this arena tournament that's so good, though, is that you've got people from all different ratings able to compete based on the strategy that they choose.
I generally think they're fun. Like it's I wouldn't say you should decide any important thing on these tournaments, but that's also not the point of them.
Yeah,
the point of them is that they're fun. And yeah, this is a good move. Yeah, I like White's play here. Oh gosh, Queen D8 was made. Oh, don't recapture without thinking. Queen D8 was just immediately made. Go back. Show it.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Yeah, Queen D8. Oh,
intermezzo check, King G7, Bishop takes Rook.
Yeah, just over.
Could not be stopped.
Oh, there'll still be H6 or H5 or something.
Well,
still be moves to play, but
maybe Queen in check, Queen H6 check, and then Bishop F8, and the mate's on G7.
Check, and I don't see how it's winning, but it's the right way to play.
Actually, so what are you saying? H6 then or something there?
Yeah, H5 after H5, not H6. So Queen D8, King G7, Bishop C5, H5, and there's no win.
Queen F8 check.
King
H7.
Queen H6 check.
King G8.
Yeah.
Or then
Bishop F8.
Bishop F8.
Ah, very nice.
Oh no, but you've got F5.
Yeah. But
maybe.
But the GF5, F6, okay.
Yeah, I mean it would be over.
You will win. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happened.
So H6 got played here.
Yeah.
Knight C3.
Oh no. White take on B4. It's again this with the no. If you take on C5, it's okay.
I think this is anybody's game now.
Yeah, now I like black now, but okay.
Knight B6. Or maybe it's Queen H2, Queen H6.
I think black should do nothing, and I was thinking just play King G7, which of course shows the level of my blitz.
Yeah.
Bishop F8 check. Yeah. No, I think Queen D5 was a good move.
No, I think Queen D5, Queen D3 here, and.
Oh, very careful. Yeah, again, you could easily get mated. Yeah.
No, Queen D3 though here is because if Queen C8, King H7, and you can go Queen F8 all you want, but Queen takes E3 is coming, so.
Bishop F6 and draw. Yeah. No, I think black should be playing for a win here. So.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, but
it's not so clear though if you get the bishop onto F6, Queen F2, then Bishop F6.
Yeah, that black queen's got to be ready to take on E3, hasn't it?
Knight has to come very quickly here. Queen E2. No, I still believe in black here. Still believe.
Yeah, this has gone wrong. He's got a bit lucky there. That Queen D8 check though would have sealed it, wouldn't it, early on?
Ooh, that's it. That was it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's just double check. Just in case. I mean, we made this mistake before, haven't we? So.
You know, Jonathan. You know my philosophy. So it's like don't play too fast.
It's good to see a few juniors in here, though. I know Jan Morawski, he's had some recent over-the-board performances where he's beaten some really top players and done very well. Another junior.
Knight F1 now, so
playing well, and well played. Great game, could have gone either way. No.
And everyone should donate. Where's the donate button?
Find the donate button. Just about to say that actually. So if people need to want to see where to donate, If you go to the English Chess Federation website...
No, they need to see where to donate. We'll need to show them here.
Yeah, here. So if you go to the English Chess Federation website, first of all, and then you can see that there's a... So it usually looks like this. So it's englishchess.org.uk. And here you've got ECF Charity Marathon for Ukraine. It tells you all about it. This is just the club to play in. If you want to play in the club, you need to join the club. You can actually still play now, actually. You can still join right now. Somebody's just put the...
and it's like, my understanding is it's only to be eligible for prizes. You have to be a member of the ECF. Everyone can play.
Yeah, everybody can play. In order to be eligible for prizes, you just need to just pay your £5, which also goes towards the charity.
And use a time machine.
Yeah, time machine too. And it's all for the British Red Cross in Ukraine, Ukraine Crisis Appeal. So this is not for weapons. This is for basically the Red Cross to help the civilian population with food, water, and medicine, and all that type of stuff, beds. And you can click on the link here. You can see. So let's have a look how much we've actually raised so far. So it's on the Tiltify, the British Red Cross. So it's been put in the Twitch chat as well. So I think their target was, the goal was £1,000, and they've currently raised 1,955. So congratulations, but keep donating. Really important to get as much in there as possible. And I believe that the two top, there's a picture of us that's coming through live. The Duke of Bedlington. I think he's based in the Wirral, perhaps because that's where Bedlington is. I played hockey against them, so he's raised £710 on his stream. So well done to him. And on this stream, it's for £770. So not that we're fighting against each other. Everything that's donated goes towards it. So it's just a brilliant. So please donate if you can do as well. But yeah, great shout. Right, who are we following? Who do we want to look at? Any good games going on here? Any good matchups? Or anybody from the top that you want that's playing that you want to see? David Hayden's not playing at the moment.
He seems to have retired.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't need to play anymore. There's only 2 hours.
So our friend Queens and Pawns is now in a 5-game streak. We should support that.
Okay, and he's in the chat as well, to be fair. So give him his time in the limelight, for considering he must be absolutely shattered as well. He'll probably win this, won't he, from this position? Oh, David Hayden's just put something in the chat that I'm going to have to read out. So he says, excellent. I think that's me done. I believe I may be the only English player too that has also played chess in Ukraine since the war started. Yeah, fair play, David. You put an absolute mammoth effort in here. And yeah, please tell us more about that. But go and get yourself a big rest. We think that your point score should be safe. I'm not sure whether Keith can make up 140 points in that much time, but yeah, amazing play.
Yeah, it's like four is the most you can get in a game, or 5?
Yeah, 4.
And it's 4, yeah, and no 140. It's impossible, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a winning streak of 35 games or something. That's going to be quite hard in 2 hours. It can't be done. Yeah, I was actually invited to play a closed GM tournament in Ukraine, and I wanted to go, but the chat room didn't work. So now there's Perpetual. I think that's it.
He doesn't want to draw, though. He wants to win. Oh no, hang on. White wants to draw.
White is giving Perpetual. So
how are you going to win this one, Jude? The key is.
Yeah, this is Perpetual.
White's just taking the draw.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on. Somebody different.
Keith is playing. So how's Keith doing?
Yeah, let's have a look at one of his games, because I don't think you've had one of his games yet.
That's a very, very bad position for black. So here there's Bishop A6 is coming, but there was also Queen takes F7, followed by D6 check.
Yeah.
So, and now Bishop takes A6 or 95, or yeah, it's just winning. Okay.
It's game over.
Well, no, the 94 knight f6 check. Yeah, no, nothing. No way to resist.
We'll stay with Keith for the next game because we only just caught the end.
Yeah, let's do that.
He does tend to play, I think, the same openings, like again and again and again.
He's played the same openings for 35 years.
Yeah, and he loves his Carlsbad structure actually, Jakob. So just thinking about
A5. That's wild.
What do you play at Shire against E4? I don't know.
I play Sicilian.
Okay.
I've played it my entire life.
No need to learn anything else.
Same, just a full movement, yeah? But still always. Oof. This is what Keith wants, this kind of structure. Knight e7, knight f5, take an e3. So, this is, yeah, knight d4 maybe. Don't allow knight f5. I would really like black. Yeah, I should say.
Do you reckon he's going to try and hold on to the pawn with like c3 and b4? Oh,
he's not going to manage. So knight d2, maybe rook a5, b2, b4 take, knight takes, and then rook a4. And
why can't I play b4?
Oh, you could. Yeah, no, it's.
Queen b6?
Well, I think I would. The way I think Keith would think is, in long run, he's winning. So, but maybe he has to win quickly.
That just drops the pawn, right? After Queen b6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, has he actually got time to actually do this? If David's done. So
no, it's too many games. 35 is too many games. That's 18 an hour.
135 divided by 4 is 33 games. 15 games in an hour. Yeah, he'd have to use only like a maximum of like 30 seconds per game.
Was Queen c2 possible there, or was that? Am I missing?
I think it was, but Rook c1, knight d5, sort of. Here he's just keeping control and pawn up. Ooh, he takes on a3, of course. And back to c5. No, it's very, very calm. Very calm. Just over.
You just wanted to avoid tactics, didn't he?
Yeah. He's not a big fan. He's not a big fan of tactics. He likes endgames. Ooh, rook b2. Ooh, f2 hangs.
He's just not bothered by it.
Avoiding tactics. It's like reading Matt's book about him playing against Leela, where it has a depth of 1. He can beat it tactically, but position is still outplayed him. Rook d2, come on. Make him end. Come on. It's unfair. The guy has a train to catch.
Well, that should be it now, surely.
And Queen f4 and take on e5.
Yeah, finally that's done. I mean, yeah, he's just got that style, hasn't he, where he just avoids
well, it's
tactics
110
all the time.
Points. Oh my God, what's
happening
here?
Jan Morawski, young genius from England against Mr. Wadsworth.
Let's see this from the beginning.
Yeah, okay, so...
Wow.
Okay, right, well, we can do now, I guess, because it's not going to...
Yeah.
It shouldn't reset, so...
That's this Atiban Gambit.
I can't get back to it! Oh, no! How do I get back to that? Where do I go? These are my games.
Archive. No, you're in archive. That should be right.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, if I click on Jan Morawski, I can click actually on him. All right. Sorry, Jan, for looking at your game that you just lost. But we can have a look at, because this has been quite popular, hasn't it? This line against the
Yeah.
English.
C6.
Pretty topical.
I think it's they call it Atiban Gambit. and it's not bad at all. Like it's a serious high level opening. Like I think Aronian played it.
Yeah, I think D4 is meant to be played by white here instead of B3, but
yeah, like here it already looks bad. Yeah.
Mm.
Oof.
Ricky, we're liking this. F3. Oof. Gets out the pin.
Gosh.
Ouch.
There's spanked, and then there's this.
Yeah, we'll. Sorry,
That
Jan.
looked illegal.
Well, we're one of Jan's games here now, so.
Yeah, we're hoping for Jan here just sort of to make up for it. So, come on, knight g4. Come on, good move. Come on, yes, here we are. Totally team Jan suddenly.
Well, he's in 6th place, you know. I think
C5 here. Come on, grab the initiative.
This is probably the first time that Jan's probably played in this, actually, because I think he is very young, and he's not that far behind Jude, I don't think at all. But he's still probably just about old enough.
Maybe Queen G5 here, and you can't really castle.
Queen G5. Can you go F4?
Ooh, I would love for you to go F4.
Oh no, you don't definitely.
Queen E7,
yeah.
and then we're gonna
E3.
play. Oh, he shouldn't have allowed him to get out of it that easily. Now he might consider if the bishops get in trouble after knight B3. Yeah, this has taken a turn. Knight B3 and then knight F4, and then black is in tears. Also here, it may be time to take on D2, which is a very sad admission of guilt. Knight B3 here. Ooh, looks
this
bad.
guy is stuck on the limb, isn't he?
And that bishop on B7 as well.
There's C4 is hanging, so rook C1 first. Oh, now take.
I think maybe he's trying for some kind of A3 bishop E5.
No, but here, take.
Oh,
Like
of
this.
course.
It's not mate on G7, is it?
I seen a tactic.
Could he have gone bishop E5 instead of taking back?
Could have, but pawn takes and
The bishop on B7 hangs at the end.
Yeah. Bishop E5, pawn E5, rook B2, queen D2. Sorry. I was up 1:30 last night and typesetting the new Tiger book. So
You can't be as tired as David and Keith are. But,
probably not, but
no. I don't know how you'd do that. I'm going to have to try it one year though, but getting permission is.
Well, hopefully we won't need it next year.
Hopefully we won't. No, that's a very good point.
So let's not make this a yearly thing.
Well, no, the charity tournament isn't just for Ukraine. I think before
I know
for COVID and things, so it would be for something different.
Can you try something like knight H5 here?
Rook E5 was there. But
is there also Queen G5 as well? But
yeah, black should be quite solid. That knight is very hard to get rid of.
It's positions like this though where I still think anything can actually happen. You know, white's actually
quite.
This is
probably will.
Hi all. Thank you ever so much for streaming and commentating, and it's been really, really nice.
Well, you clearly haven't heard what we've been saying, so
I have actually. In the background, I have. Yes.
No, there's been some good chess here. It's been very, very nice to follow. So
I know, and big congratulations. I see that Dave is going to stop playing now, but big congratulations to him for staying awake.
A streak of 18, wow.
Yeah. So there's still another 2 hours left of the arena to run. I'm going to need to switch onto the other stream now because there'll be people waiting to get onto the next stream. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It was an honor. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to play a short video of the cause of British Red Cross and Ukraine.
Over the past year, the sound of air raid sirens have become part of daily life for people affected by the Russia-Ukraine armed conflict. Hospitals and other critical infrastructure have been damaged or destroyed. As frontline shifts, more civilians are subjected to the horrors of violence, with lives lost and families torn apart, and millions have been forced to flee. We work in hard-to-reach places to support people facing the direct effects of the armed conflict. Beyond Ukraine's borders, our volunteers are helping people rebuild their lives and families reconnect with missing loved ones. The Red Cross is present across Ukraine and in many communities that have welcomed refugees. We have provided medical support to thousands of people, including medical equipment, drugs, and training for staff. We've helped people reach medical facilities in safer places and delivered mental health support inside and outside Ukraine. From rebuilding schools and helping people injured by mines, to cash support, first aid and shelter, our help has reached those who need it most, whoever and wherever they are. This was all possible due to the dedication of our teams and partners of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. There is still so much to do, and we will continue to work around the clock until long after the last air raid siren falls silent.